Good evening, or night, I guess, and welcome to 30-Minute Reviews. I am Adam, still dealing with this pulled muscle in my chest. Second episode we're recording today. I recorded one earlier with Oscar picks. You can go on and check that out. This is going to be a quick one. This is a trailer discussion for Shazam, Fury of the Gods, which is coming out March 16th, which is great because DC wants to torture me on my fucking birthday. Or it's not on my birthday, my birthday's a few days later, but DC wants to torture me, so... And it's great because we get to break up this month with some really great shit happening, where we have that D&D movie looks great, we have Creed 3, which looks great, we have, what was that other one? John Wick Chapter 4, looks great. And we gotta break it up with fucking, Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods. Which, I mean, look, here's the thing. I gave the movie the benefit of the doubt with the first trailer, because the first trailer was a teaser, and I'm like, alright, well, maybe it's just not showing a ton. There's a few moments that look cool, and I'm okay with it, and alright, fine. This latest one, like, what the fuck? And the thing is, too, the movie's like 2 months out, where I'm watching it, and I'm like, why does this look so bad? Like, why? Why does this movie look so, like, not unfinished in, like, the effects? I mean, there are some effect shots where I'm like, ew, what the fuck? Because it's like, at one point, you see, like, what's it called? Like, Mary Marvel, or I think she's just Mary at that point. She's not Mary Marvel, but she's falling, and then Billy has to catch her, and I'm like, the fuck is this? And I think that I've seen a lot of complaints that, like, oh, they gave away too much of the movie in the first, in the entire thing, and I think that is a valid claim, that they gave away too much of the movie. I think that's very valid based on this trailer. I think the bigger issue is just, it doesn't look like the story that they gave away doesn't look engaging, in the same way that, like, Quantumania gave away a ton in the trailer, and I'm okay with that. But what they gave away is that Scott Lang is going to get absolutely fucked up in this movie. And I'm like, alright, I'm here for this. Let's watch Scott Lang get his ass kicked up and down a fucking movie the way Vision did in Infinity War. But this, it's like, okay, so the gods, so, like, you have the daughters of Athena? The daughters of Atlas are coming and they want to take the powers of the gods back, but, like, not when Black Adam was the case. It's Shazam, alright, whatever, so they're going to do it to Shazam, they're going to take his powers back. But he gave it to the kids, and that's also part of the problem. And like, I don't know if there's necessarily a plot here. And the other issue I have with this is, like, we know Wonder Woman's going to be in the movie, because last year at CinemaCon, they showed off the trailer, and the trailer they showed there hasn't been shown to the public yet, but it features Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. And not in the way the first trailer had those flashes of, like, Aquaman from Aquaman or the Flash from Justice League. It is her in this movie as Wonder Woman with the team as Wonder Woman. And it's like, did they cut that the way they cut her from the Flash if she's in that? Like, is that what happened there? If that's the case, like, why is she not in the marketing material? Because at this point, you need to market something on this movie. Why are you not marketing it as, this could be Gal Gadot's last appearance as Wonder Woman? Because Gal Gadot is in seats, I think. Like, why is that? Maybe they cut her from the movie? I'm not entirely sure why that's not there, because it's not like the first Shazam did numbers enough where you can be like, oh, okay, well, we know people will show back up to see this property. I think you'll get a downturn from number 1 to number 2. I think that there's a lot to be said about that, and I feel like there's not enough going on there. I feel like there's this other, like, the other issue I have with it is, like, if the movie's gonna be them fighting this fucking dragon, I don't know if you can, like, and this is how spoiled we are as a people. It's like, I'm looking at this video of Shazam fighting a dragon, and I'm like, look, maybe you should have done the Aquaman approach and be like, we don't know if we're getting another one, and maybe don't leave anything on the table. Maybe go with Mr. Mind in the sequel, like you set up in the first one, like with Savannah. Maybe that would have been a smarter thing to do. Maybe, like, I understand that a portion of this comes from The Rock not having much respect for Shazam. Maybe you should have done Shazam versus Black Adam. Maybe that should have been movie number 2. Like, there are no shortage of other villains without doing this, and I'm like, but alright, so that's cool, but the issue is, you're building. I don't have a problem with them building their own lore. You can, take whatever narrative liberties you want. You're doing it. It's an adaptation for a reason. It's an adaptation because it's not, a straight one-to-one recreation. But fuck, I'm not saying you need to do something like the Fates, maybe, or if you're gonna do it, make a little more sense. Where it's like, all right, well, give us a little bit of an explanation as to what's going on, because even the role of the gods in the first one is not explicitly laid out. When he gives the enchantment to give the power of Shazam to Billy, it's like when he does that, he does the whole the knowledge of Socrates and all that bullshit. He does that, and that's in the movie. I don't think that's necessarily enough to be okay, so now the gods who gave him his powers and he distributed the powers without asking, now they're upset about that and they want their powers back. I don't think there's enough there to do that. And again, I think it's going to come down to the fact that these people aren't accurately representing the gods, they're representing the Titans, because Atlas is a Titan, not a god, and you have to know a little bit of Greek mythology to understand that. And it's I feel like we have a lot going on here that we don't necessarily need to have happening. And I feel like that would make this movie a lot more streamlined. I'm getting very bad vibes from this trailer. Granted, I could be wrong. I've been wrong in the past. I famously, back in 2016, 2017, I said on a podcast with Peter when we talked about the Logan trailer, I said, I have a bad feeling about this because I thought the movie could be too funny. I don't think that... And that was the second trailer where it ends with... not the one set to Hurt, which was the fucking fantastic trailer. The second trailer, which is the one that ends with Professor X going oh, she's she's what was it? 3 states in 2 days. She's 11, I'm fucking 90, and I was I don't know if that's gonna play well. And it played well in the movie. I just think that based on what this trailer showed and how much we saw, I think there's too much here to be okay, well, we have to, too much of it is showed, and it seems to be, they're showing a lot from the end of the movie, which I don't think is necessarily a good thing, unless this is all a giant misdirect, which is entirely possible. It could be, because I see a lot of people calling it out, oh, they're showing us a ton of the third act, oh, there's a lot of the third act coming in, and I'm looking at it, and I'm oh, maybe that is the case, or maybe it is a lot of the third act showing up, and maybe it is that there's a ton of things happening from the third act, or maybe this is a mid-movie set piece. Maybe all this shit with the dragon is just mid-movie stuff, and it's not doing the entire narrative arc of the movie. Maybe it is just a bunch of stuff designed to make us think that we are going to end off with him having to make the sacrifice that ultimately won't stick, which is ridiculous because, the universe is getting rebooted anyway. But maybe that is where this movie goes. Maybe that is how it works, where it's, there is another set piece later on in the movie. And also, if it is that it's the gods who are the bad guys, I don't know how Wonder Woman really fits into that properly, because Wonder Woman is on the side of the gods, especially in this iteration, where it's she was created by Zeus as the weapon to fight Ares. It's just, there's a lot I don't quite understand. And it's not in a good way where I'm intrigued and want to know more. It's more I'm watching this and I'm oh, these narrative threads aren't quite sewing together properly. And if at this juncture they're not doing that, it could be a problem, considering how much of the movie is being shown here. And I think there's room for improvement. I just don't think the final movie at this juncture is going to end up being improved. But we'll wrap up there for tonight. And that will be, we will see Shazam Fury of the Gods when it comes out in March, but I'm just not... This trailer has cooled me on it slightly. But until our next episode next week, have a great rest of your week.